What is going on, guys? It's the Franz, and we are back again for your NXT review for the go-home show to NXT Takeover Philadelphia, which is going to be this Saturday on the WWE Network. This is January 24th, 2018, where we had the number one contendership on the line, Velveteen Dream taking on Johnny Gargano in a match that I was looking forward to, and I'm sure everyone was looking forward to. People said this match, like Triple H said, this match was can't miss, and he was right. This was a darn good match. I want to put a little caveat on this because it was unfortunate that Triple H kind of spoiled the ending of this match by announcing at NXT TakeOver, and this is why I haven't done a preview and a prediction yet, and a lot of other people haven't, I don't know why, but at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, it will be the Velveteen Dream versus Cassius Ohno. I wish he would have said something in this conference call. Cassius Ohno will take on the man who doesn't win the match, the main event tonight on NXT. Would have made it a little bit less spoiler, but as you know, that's just how it goes. So, what makes NXT so special? It's just, I don't understand how WWE's main roster is so boring. This past Monday was Raw 25, supposed to be the best Raw of all time. Jerry Lawler even called it possibly the best Raw of all time. And it did not live up to the hype. I was bored to tears after the Austin angle. After that, the rest of the show was just meh and was missable. SmackDown was the opening segment and the Sami Zayn match, which proved that he is a main eventer bar none. Everything in between was missable. Why? How is it that WWE's NXT can be just so great start to finish, almost never having a dull moment, and just being a lot of fun? Why do I find a lot more joy in NXT every single week and downright boredom, and I'm boredom in the main roster? Quite honestly, and it's the truth, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia is the show of the week and for WWE. Don't even really care about the Royal Rumble. Well, I'm saying that now, but of course the Rumble match could be a good one. Probably not, because the last few have been piss poor, but that's just that. The Women's Royal Rumble, if that hasn't got any, if that people didn't care about that match now, what I have to talk about on news, rumors, and predictions this week is going to make you just more sick. We have a special ring announcer, not a ring announcer, but commentator for that match, and I really just wanted to pull my hair out when I read that. We'll talk about that on Saturday. So, tonight, we saw the Authors of Pain just obliterate two guys. We saw more information on TM61 when they're coming back. Little funny jab at the beginning of their promo package today. Found that on the Pokemon series. Found that funny. You had No Way Jose coming back. I don't recall him being injured, but apparently he must have been, because he hasn't been seen in, it feels like, months. You had another Aleister Black, Adam Cole rivalry promo, which pretty much showed everything from their match on the NXT that was part of WWE week, all the way up until 2 weeks ago when Aleister Black got pretty much manhandled by Undisputed Era. Then you had an appearance by the WWE NXT champion of Andronicus and Almas, confronting the winner of Gargano and Velveteen Dream, and Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon sit down to talk to Percy Watson. I will have that audio for you guys today. That was pretty much all of NXT, but it was still a great episode of NXT. Never really much for them to do that they almost never do wrong. Yes, there are people criticizing the fact that Shayna Baszler is already getting an NXT Women's Championship match, but other than Nikki Cross, who will be in action next week from Philadelphia, so looking forward to that, taking on Lacey Evans, that was announced tonight too, as well as TM61 will be in Philadelphia for the NXT taping that they will do there, so looking forward to what those guys do, and Lacey Evans versus Nikki Cross, which, if things go the way I'm thinking they're going to go, this could be Nikki Cross's send-off. I mean, Lacey Evans just came out of the Mae Young Classic. Nikki Cross is going to probably be in the Women's Royal Rumble, so this match on next week's show of NXT could be Nikki Cross's last in NXT, and we might see Sanity come up to the main roster as well. All that in due time. But let's get into the show. I have wasted enough time on anything else. The show started off with the Velveteen Dream in a taped segment. He has his back to the camera, says lights, ambiance, environment, or whatever that was, and then he cuts a promo on tonight's match. Dream says, "You know we all dream of being NXT champion. Life just allows us to experience." I can't remember what he said. I have no idea what he said after experience, but Johnny Gargano, you dream of one day becoming NXT champion. I don't doubt you to do that, but not yet. Not when the choices are you and me, the Velveteen Dream. Now we all know your rise was tainted with doubt. The Dream's experience is pure. No matter how the pieces fall, a dream will be over after tonight. So one of those matches I was looking forward to, and as I could say, we'll get to that match later. Johnny Wrestling does it again. Him and Velveteen Dream put on a stellar match. Was it the best match you've ever seen in NXT? No, that's going to be kind of hard to beat with like War Games and Black versus Dream and other matches like that down the line. But it was a very good match for NXT TV. Then you had No Way Jose versus Cesar Bononi. Nigel says, and this was a nice little jab. No Way Jose is coming out, and I think it was Percy Watson said something about his entrance. Nigel McGuinness says, this is my second favorite entrance of all of NXT, and Mauro Ranallo asked him, "What's your first?" And he says, "Everyone else is combined." So I popped for that one. That was a nice little laugh. It made me laugh a good bit. Trading headlocks early, leapfrog, reverse into an atomic drop, Jose with the rest hold. Boos in the crowd for some reason. There was like, I don't know what was going on, but for like halfway, like at the beginning of this match, right after a atomic drop, you just hear boos in the crowd. It wasn't towards what was happening in the ring. I did notice in the crowd behind those guys that you see people looking up in the crowd towards near the entranceway. So I have absolutely no idea what's happening. Maybe someone came out of the crowd trying to start something but got pulled out. I don't know. If somebody who is there doing the NXT tapings knows what happened, let me know, because that was just really weird that these guys were just putting on a match and all of a sudden you just hear the crowd break out in boos. So I have no idea what happened. Maybe it was a beach ball. Who knows? Cesar with the hair toss, then a beautiful drop kick. Beautiful move. Pump handle slam by Cesar for a 2 count. He has Jose in a headlock. Jose ends up getting a swinging neck breaker to take control. Match ends with a power slam. Jose pops up, Jose gets up, starts doing this, starts cranking his arm up. I'm like, what's he going to be doing? Pop up and a punch in the face for the 1, 2, 3. Now, my opinions, because I haven't really said them, because I haven't, since I started this, No Way Jose hasn't been around. No Way Jose, to me, and this is the God honest truth, No Way Jose to me is an NXT act, and that's it. He'll come up to the main roster. He might get a pop or two. He might get a win or two, but he will be in catering and just be a jobber by the end of the year. If he was to come up and say after WrestleMania this year or after Royal Rumble, he's not going to do anything. This guy is an NXT act, and that's as high as his ceiling is going to be. He is going to be like Adam Rose, and that is it. He'll probably get buried by somebody in the back. This act, Vince McMahon would never, ever get behind. It's a nice act for NXT. The fans really like it. But just like Ty Dillinger and just like Mike Kanellis and others like that, he won't be anything on the main roster. I don't like these type of acts, these party gimmicks, because they don't do anything. They brought Adam Rose up like a week or two after he was brought into NXT. They brought him up after WrestleMania, I believe, that year. And what happened to him? He was buried in the back by Michael Hayes, and the next thing you know, he was nothing but fodder for the stars. And he ended up feuding with a bunny. So will we see No Way Jose feud with an anthropomorphic animal? Probably not. That was a joke, and I hope WWE never relives that. I'm sorry I brought that up. But No Way Jose ceiling in WWE is very, very low with this gimmick. If they have a gimmick change for him, maybe they can do something for him. But in the main roster, I can already tell he'll come up, he'll get that big pop, especially if it's the night after WrestleMania, because anybody coming up from NXT on the night after WrestleMania is going to get that massive pop that WWE wants to hear new stars get. But he won't be anything more than he'll be lower than Apollo Crews pretty much, and Apollo Crews is pretty low on the totem pole as it is. That's just my opinion on No Way Jose. Not a gimmick that you're going to see him winning any championships anytime soon. So that's my thoughts on him, and let's move on. They did confirm though Shayna Baszler and Moon would sit down with Percy Watson later in the show. We got the hype package for Aleister Black and Adam Cole starting. They pretty much highlighted the WWE Week match to see who would go to the Fatal 4-Way. They and how Aleister Black beat Adam Cole. Then Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era cost him a chance at the NXT Championship after he hit Black Mass on Lars Sullivan looking to win. And then, of course, they showed him getting beat down by the Undisputed Era in NXT in the first set of these tapings. Then we had Bianca Belair versus Latoya, which is what they called her. Before we get to that, I will say this match between Aleister Black and Adam Cole, I am looking forward to and can't wait to see it. The match that Triple H announced tonight, I will get to at the end of the show. I am excited to look for it too, and it could steal the show as well. There were 3 matches now on NXT Philadelphia that have a potential to be weekend of the year. Match of the weekend, I should say. Match of the weekend. And I'm not talking about anything on the pay-per-view for Royal Rumble. There's nothing over there that I even care about to call a chance to be match of the week or match of the night. There's nothing over there. The Rumbles are both going to be probably awful because they have been recently. The triple threat match is going to be awful. The tag team title matches are just going to be depending on how those goes. Those could be maybe good matches unless Jason Jordan is like really hurt and it's only Seth Rollins in that match. The 2 out of 3 falls, you know how those go. And that's about it for the Royal Rumble. Bella versus Latoya, as they called her. I don't know if they remember what they called her. Her last name was, but Latoya. Tied up in the corner. A "Let's Go Jobber" chant is never good for anybody who's they're trying to build up. When the crowd starts going "Let's Go Jobber," then the crowd that you're in front of really doesn't know or get your character or who you are. Belair working over Latoya. She dominated the majority of this match. Got a backbreaker on Latoya. Nasty forearm to Latoya. Then she has a double arm stretch on her. Lifts her up and does like Beth Phoenix old finisher, except for instead of having her arms behind her, she has them off out to the side, and that just looked painful with having her arms tied up as they were, and she just lifts her up like Beth Phoenix used to do and just pushes her down onto the mat. Runs into the corner, Latoya gets a move, moves out of the way. Latoya gets on top of the ring, on the ring ropes, goes for a dive. Bianca Belair is waiting, just whacks her in the stomach with her hair. Nasty spot. You don't have to fake that sound because boy does that sound horrible. I don't know what she puts in that hair to make it sound so devastating, or if it hurts so badly, because damn, I wouldn't want to be hit by that. Hits a reverse powerbomb, the powerbomb, and then the throwback. Big Show used to do that type of move. I can't remember what they actually called it for him. But Bianca Belair is your winner. I heard people wanting to see more, like JD from New York and others saying they want more of Bianca Belair. Well, there you go. You got yourself more Bianca Belair, who dominated Latoya for the majority of this match. 99.9% of this match, Latoya did get a couple shots in, but Bianca Belair, who I think will have more say in the NXT Women's Division after the iconic duo in Ember Moon, who was probably going to lose the NXT Takeover to Shayna Baszler, are moved up to the main roster, because there's supposed to be 9 women from NXT moving up to the main roster. So can't wait to see what they do there and see who's going to be there, because we have Lacey Evans starting to become a heel. Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae is going to be probably at the next set of tapings. Next up was the sit-down interview with Percy Watson for Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon. I had to go do something, so I had to miss this one, so we're going to listen to this together, and then I'll have my thoughts afterwards. I hope it's the full interview. It says only 2 minutes and some seconds, so I'm hoping it's the full interview. So here is Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler on talking about the match this week on NXT with Percy.
Champ, I just want to take a quick second and congratulate you on your NXT Women's title. I know you've overcome a lot of obstacles to get to this point in your career. But I just have to ask you, I mean, the NXT universe wants to know, why did you call out Shayna Baszler?
Because Shayna is nothing more than a bully. She thinks that she can come into our division, take shortcuts, jump people from behind, try to injure Dakota Kai. What are you, overcompensating for something? You realize you just couldn't cut it in the NXT Women's Division? Please, do tell Shayna.
I mean, that smirk on your face really says a lot, Shayna. I mean, but the champ has a valid point. A number of superstars here have felt the effects of the Kira food. I mean, from Aaliyah to Kairi Sane to Dakota Kai. I mean, even that last match you had with Dakota Kai, apparently you were trying to hurt her. You were trying to break her arm.
It's never been about Dakota or Aaliyah or even Kairi. So you have to stir up waters to catch fish. And Ember Moon is the big fish in this pond.
So you think I didn't know what you were doing, Shayna? I am the big fish for a reason. You think that you're gonna come into my NXT Women's Division and take shortcuts where everyone else rises to the challenge? We live by a code, Shayna, of sportsmanship, skill, honor, heart. See, being NXT Women's Champion means that you have responsibilities. Not only to yourself, but to your division. And if you ever become NXT Women's Champion and set aside all of your selfishness, Shayna, you might get a small glimpse of what that means. But I promise you now, it will not happen at Takeover Philadelphia.
Okay, so they had about a little bit of that. I know they did that. He asked her one more question, and the question was, what should we know about what the NXT universe should think about Shayna Baszler? And she says, I don't care about the NXT universe, but it's my world, and they're just going to be living in it. So I like, in that little bit of clip for that Ember Moon's fierceness. I like that fierceness. She really hasn't had that much up until now. So to see her have this fierceness against somebody like Shayna Baszler is great, but honestly, I still think that Shayna Baszler is going to win this match and win the NXT Women's Championship. I'll go over more of that tomorrow for NXT TakeOver Philadelphia preview and predictions, but I see this being Ember Moon's last ride as well. So we're going to probably see the last few times, like tomorrow, of course, Saturday, they're going to tape NXT for Wednesday before we get to TakeOver that night. And I think those two matches with Lacey Evans and Nikki Cross and Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler, we'll see those guys last days in NXT before they're caught up. We will see when we get there. Then we had the Authors of Pain, who was supposed to face a group of jobbers that I have no idea what their names were. They come out, destroy them, double Death Valley drivers into the corner. They both grab the mic and talk and pretty much say, Undisputed Era, you see this? See it here? This is you this Sunday. And bunch of weird, odd language. I don't know if it's Samoan or what it is, but they say something. And then I think it was Razor who said, talked first, and then Akam said, it's your turn on Saturday. So those two looking fierce and ready for the match. Super collided to the guys, and that was that. Then we had, before that, I missed it, but before that we had the second part of TM61's return video package about their return to NXT.
TM61 is a missile as well. Does anyone bring that up? Nope. All they bring up is that it's a Pokemon thing. Don't admit that you know it's a Pokemon thing.
Shane Thorne and Nick Miller making their debut.
Really good to meet you, Tom.
It's great to meet you, Shane.
Miller and Thorne have traveled around the globe to prove that they are supreme when it comes to the tag team division.
This could be a massive launching pad for their careers.
TM61 are ready to show the world who they are.
So, we're in San Jose for the Dusty Rhodes
I didn't know he got hurt at this match.
I had a singles match with Roderick Strong.
Johnny Gargano.
And I'd gotten into a position where I could double stomp down on him. As I've come down, my right foot
looking at this
had hit
video,
him
he
so
looks
hard
like he
that
messed
my
his knee
left
up
leg
badly.
went straight to the ground. I come down, I roll, and I'm clutching my knee.
I remember seeing him land, and I could see something on his face, and there was just a point where you just know that something's wrong.
If anyone remembers why this
like to
match
see
is
it
a
was
one-on-one
Takeover
match
going
instead
out
of
the
a tag team
window.
match, because this is right after Austin Aries busted his orbital bone off of a Shinsuke Nakamura knee, so they had to make it a one-on-one match to let TM61 move on
finished
to
the
the
match,
finals, which
won
I think
that
was
match.
actually supposed to be
Then
Roderick
we made it
Strong
all
and
the
Austin
way
Aries
to the
winning this match,
finals.
but they had
The
to
sailors
draw
had
an
saying, if
audible
you're
because of Austin Aries.
gonna be dumb,
injury.
you gotta be tough. I'm real tough.
See, I thought
Here
he
we
got
go.
injured
This
in
is
the
the
match
finals
against
of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
But,
Coming all the way from Australia, Dusty would be proud of the way TM61 earned this opportunity.
What is
As he
happening
says,
right
he's
now?
really,
Are you kidding me?
really brave to be taking on this match. in the
Air
next
Canada
match,
Center
even with
bearing
the injury.
witness to TM61.
Funny, I tell
Yeah,
people,
see, I thought
didn't
he got
jump.
injured here
There
on
was
the
no
dive
jump in this
over
leg. It
off
was
the shark cage
falling with
heel.
style. It wasn't until the match with the Revival that was the final nail in the coffin and the choice of
Yeah, really
just
not the
walking
best
it
way to
off, went off the table.
like go out against the Revival with that shot to the knee, because I know it's probably a way to write him off, but yeah, that looks like that hurt a lot. Taking the dive, having Dawson hold you down while the other comes off with the knee shot. That was nasty.
6-7 months, so I know I've got a long road ahead of me.
Shane's one of the toughest people that I know. This is just, like I said, just a roadblock in the way. So we're going to come back stronger and better than ever. Here he is. If you've got a long rope, I can just wheel him behind. Just that hopscotch.
I don't need any help. That's the thing they say, pain is weakness leaving the body, and I have to thank the Revival for putting me through that pain, because that was clearly some weakness that we had.
For the longest time, for the last 2 years, I think we've been trying to be something that we're not. We might be new here, but we made a name for ourselves. Sorry.
We are here. We are ready to capture them TM61.
I would hate to think that the memory people have is what people have seen up until now. People have no idea what Shane and I can do. The Mighty Don't Kneel, it's more than just a name, it's an idea. Anything that you want to do, if you put your mind to it and you work as hard as you possibly can, you can make that happen.
From Perth, Australia,
It's about not giving up.
TM61.
You don't kneel to anybody. That's what the mighty are. The future is bright for Nick Miller and Shane Thorne.
TM61. I like those guys.
Shane and I are going to prove once again that TM61 are everything that we say that we are.
Handsome, charismatic, funny, and talented. And they're Australian, so like chicks dig their accent.
Those tag titles, that is what brings us to NXT.
Take a good look at TM61.
Looks like TM61 aren't quite done yet.
They are headed to being the very best.
We are the mighty.
I'm telling you what, if you get endorsed by the Great Harley Race, then you're definitely something special. That guy doesn't throw out endorsements for just anybody. So they'll be returning next week as well on the Philadelphia edition of NXT, which I cannot wait to actually watch NXT, the taping from Philadelphia, because that place is going to be a madhouse. And Triple H did put this out there that this place, this NXT, and possibly the Royal Rumble too, if they don't get stupid, is going to be a lot more rowdier because of the fact that in 1 week after these events, the Super Bowl is going to be happening, and the Philadelphia Eagles will be in the Super Bowl. So these fans are going to be hyped, and we will see what happens in NXT. So it's going to be great. Johnny Gargano versus the Velveteen Dream when it goes on to Philadelphia to face Andrade Cien Almas. I am a little miffed that Triple H decided to give us a little bit of a spoiler to those who didn't read the spoilers. If you went and either were at the conference call or read the transcripts of what was said on the conference call, Triple H did announce that it would be Cassius Ohno versus the Velveteen Dream at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. So that kind of irks me a little bit that he didn't just say the winner, the person who doesn't go on to face Almas will face Johnny Gargano, will face Cassius Ohno at Philadelphia, which if it would have been Gargano, take my money now, I would love to see that match again. Only, you know, the winner of that match would be do whatever, but it's going to be Dream versus Cassius Ohno, so you know Velveteen Dream didn't win this match. But Velveteen Dream comes out wearing a cut-up, and in his style Johnny Wrestling t-shirt. So playing the mind games from the start, that's just Velveteen Dream for you. It's great to see him back. Was Velveteen Dream really injured? I never, even after War Games, I didn't really see anything that was like a terrible injury from him. The only one I knew who was actually very injured was Drew McIntyre. I wanted to say Galloway, his real name, but Drew McIntyre, who is still out and will probably be out until about WrestleMania season. And the fact that he's still in the opening package for NXT, I don't think he's out of NXT yet. I think they're going to bring him back. He can have an NXT title match. I don't know, probably before WrestleMania if he's back or right after when he's back. And, you know, have his send-off or keep him around till Chicago and have him come to the main roster after Chicago. But quite honestly, WWE really won't have any room for him. If they ain't using Ty Dillinger or Mike Kanellis or any of these other superstars that they're not using, what are they going to have for Drew McIntyre? They already don't use half their rosters, so why would you bring Drew McIntyre up just to waste him like you did everybody else? They lock up from the start, Dream with the waist lock. Split crowd here, Johnny. Let's go, Johnny Wrestling, Velveteen Dream. Let's go, Dream or something. This crowd was hot. And this is like the third taping, which at Full Sail, this crowd would have been dead almost, tired from being there for 4 straight hours or 3 straight hours as this will be, and next set of tapings will be. Even though the next set of tapings at Center Stage are actually going to be, I believe, 2 and 2, which 2 for one day and 2 for the next day, which means the crowd should be hot every single week that we get it. I wish they would do that at Full Sail instead of just doing it one day. Instead of doing it just Thursdays, do it Thursday and Friday, 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, so the crowd is always hot and you always have that oomph of a crowd. Mat wrestling by Gargano and Dream. Toss over and Dream poses and taunts Gargano. He says, "You're not ready for TakeOver. You're not ready. You're not ready for TakeOver." Gargano puts him in the Gargano escape, but, you know, this is early on in the match, so Dream was able to pretty much fight out of it. With Dream with an elbow to Gargano. Dream tossed over the ropes, catches himself, and does his little pose. But Johnny Gargano is like, we ain't having none of that. Kicks the Velveteen Dream to the outside. This is not, of course, the Full Sail, so the announce table is actually on the outside where Dream is standing, so Dream takes a nice little bounce off of the announce table afterwards. Then Johnny Gargano with a rolling senton to the outside on top of him. Dream gets back inside, but Gargano goes for the slingshot spear, but he gets caught into a swinging neck breaker. Beautiful looking spot. Dream has control with the shot to Gargano. Gets a 2 count. He just was shot after the shot while Gargano's down. He goes for the pin, gets a 2. Then back on the attack, and taunts Gargano saying he took his spot and he doesn't deserve it. That just makes Dream a lot like one of the best heels they have. He is like a cool heel. He sits there and he'll do heelist tactics, and then he'll also sit there and taunt you while he does it. Backslide by Gargano for a 2. Dream kick to the midsection and tosses Gargano to the outside. Ref starts counting. Dream actually looks like he walks over to the ref to tell him, "Don't count, I got this." Gets on the turnbuckle, looks like he's about ready to do something. Is like, nah, jumps off and just sits there and taunts. He heads outside and drops Gargano on the barricade. Knife edge chops by Gargano. Dream ends up kicking Gargano in the chest, then backdropping him onto the apron. Gargano back in the ring, gets a couple shots onto Dream, then an enziguri to Dream, rocking Dream in the corner. Dream ends up rolling out of the corner into a rolling kick. You know, Gargano rolls him out, then does his rolling around kick in the face. Pretty good spot. A spinning DDT off the top rope. Beautiful looking move. I think Joe McGinnis called it something else, but he called it a flatliner. No, that was a spinning DDT. There's a difference between a flatliner and a DDT, trust me. Dream holding onto the ropes. pulls him out, tries to go for Death Valley Driver, ends up eating a super kick. I'm sorry, Dream ends up hitting Gargano with a super kick, but Gargano bounces off the ropes and hits a nasty looking lariat for a 2 count. Death Valley Driver block thrown into the corner. Sister Abigail looking DDT, like he had him in the Sister Abigail, but instead of going for the Abigail, he wraps his arm around Gargano behind the back of his head and whips him around and hits a beautiful, nasty looking DDT. Great looking spot. Dream is heading to the top rope. Gargano gets up and knocks Dream up and then looks Dream suicide dive to the outside. Oh yeah, that's right. He knocked Dream over and Dream fell on Gargano. It looked like this was not how this was supposed to go. Like he goes up to pull Dream down. Dream falls down and looks like he just lands on the top of his back badly, but he rolls outside. Looked fine afterwards, but it just from that spot just looked nasty. They do mention that this is what it means to go for the NXT Championship, and I'm like, wow. When a contendership for a title actually means the title, like they're fighting for the title. Wish we could see that in WWE for some of their championships, women's championships on both brands. Yes, when NXT wants to actually have 2 contenders fighting to see who go out to see who's going to face the champion, whether it be the women, whether it be the men, whether it be a tag team number 1 contenders match, they always give you a great match. I wish we would actually have title feuds on Raw and SmackDown as great as this is, and how if like 2 people or 2 teams or 2 women are fighting to see who's going to face the champion at a pay-per-view or on the next episode of Raw or SmackDown. At least it means something. That whole US title tournament should have meant more than it did, but they rushed it and it just meant nothing. And right now, with what happened this past Monday, I'm thinking they wish they wouldn't have rushed it, because they are missing a match on the Royal Rumble now, so there's not as many matches as they had booked. Joining Gargano on the top rope, Dream crouches Gargano on the top rope, who goes for a rolling Death Valley Driver, but Gargano tries to stop him, but Dream eventually gains back control and hits it anyway, slow to make the cover for a 2 count. They were calling it, like, at this time, I'm pretty sure, yes, moment now is like someone needs to check Johnny's DNA, because that was just crazy. Match ends when Dream goes for the Purple Rainmaker. Gargano with knees to Dream. When he goes for the Purple Rainmaker, he hesitates because the arm he usually hits it with has been injured this entire match. He goes for the other elbow, and Johnny Gargano gets the knees up, gets up. Velveteen Dream's on his knees, gets nailed with a super kick. Johnny Gargano drops to his knees, gives him a stare, grabs him and puts him in the Gargano escape with the injured elbow. He quickly taps, and your winner and moving on to NXT TakeOver is Johnny Gargano. The match was way better than I just explained it. I'm just telling you that right now. If you haven't seen it, if you're wanting to know if it's worth seeing, go do it. Go watch it. Johnny Gargano does it again and puts on a stellar match. When you have two guys, 2 tag teams, or 2 women who want to go for a championship and have to fight to see who is going to be the number 1 contender, heck, even multi-person matches like a triple threat match or a fatal 4-way in NXT has more meaning than Raw and SmackDown does. This was a stellar match. It was the best match of the week so far. We still have TakeOver to go, but in non-pay-per-view, non-special matches of the week, Johnny Gargano vs. the Velveteen Dream was the best match of the week, bar none. Post-match, Johnny C. Almas and Zelina Vega makes their way to the ring. He raises the championship. He turns around. He hands the title to Zelina Vega. He goes to attack Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano fights back. He almost gets the best of Johnny Gargano. He does get the best of Johnny Gargano for a second. He does pick him up to punish him some more. He throws him out to the ring. He raises the belt. Gargano gets back up after, selling it for a minute or 2. He does struggle. He doesn't get up back up, jump back up, I'm fine. He crawls back up. So Zelina almost hands the belt to Zelina again. goes to, actually no he doesn't, he grabs the belt, goes to hit Johnny Gargano with the belt. Johnny does his jumping kick to the face, you know, the same thing that Ruby Riott uses as a finisher, something like that, but in the corner. Gets in and slingshot DDT and the crowd, and that's how he lays out Cien Almas. And then as the crowd, Zelina Vega, he's looking at the title. Zelina Vega tells him not to touch it. It's not yours. Don't touch it. And the crowd starts chanting, touch it, touch it, touch it. And after about 2-3 minutes of him contemplating, he grabs it. The crowd starts chanting, you deserve it, over and over. And then he raises the title to end the show. Now, hopefully, WWE, Triple H, I'm not going to say Vince because Vince has nothing to do with NXT other than the fact that it's under his company's brand. Hopefully, Triple H and his guys who write these shows do the right thing. You have built Johnny Gargano right. This guy has worked his butt off. This guy has the perfect storyline going into New Orleans. He has to win this match. He needs to win this match. Not have no tomfoolery where you have Tommaso Ciampa come out and screw him out of the title. That is unacceptable. Johnny Gargano comes into this match. He wins the match. If you want to have Tommaso Ciampa come out and lay out Johnny Gargano, here's what you do. Especially if he's not fully back 100%, but it's going to take another month or so before he can actually wrestle. We need to have Johnny Gargano and him and Adriano Cien Almas have a grueling match. Match is over. Cien Almas leaves the ring. Johnny Gargano is holding the title up. Lights go out. Johnny Gargano is laid out when the lights come back on. There's a guy standing there, hoodied over his head, facing down so the crowd can't see who it is. Of course, if it's Tommaso Ciampa, his beard would probably give it away because he does have a beard. Holds the title up, pulls the hood back, and it's Tommaso Ciampa, and the show goes off the air. The crowd would go crazy. You do not want, for the first time I think ever, the crowd at an NXT TakeOver event, because this is Philadelphia, mind you, you do not want the crowd to go home booing the heck out of this show because you had Johnny Gargano lose this match either by clean or by screwy or by Tommaso Ciampa. You better have Tommaso Ciampa wait until after. And they're saying if Tommaso Ciampa is not ready, they're going to have Johnny Gargano probably lose this match and have Aleister Black take on Andrade Cien Almas at New Orleans. That's going to be a massive mistake. I'll get more on that tomorrow, but that is your NXT TakeOver review. Thank you to all those who checked out my Raw 25 and SmackDown Live reviews for this week. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TheFrance. Make sure to find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. I am there every single day, different times, so make sure to hit that follow button to know when I am on. And I will be back tomorrow for a preview and predictions of NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Friday we'll be here for the Royal Rumble preview and predictions, which, once again, I'm really not caring too much about the Royal Rumble. With the fact that NXT TakeOver is always going to be in front of a Big Four pay-per-view, those specials I'm looking more forward to than a Royal Rumble. And then, of course, we'll be here for news, rumors, and predictions on Saturday, and we will be here for Saturday night for NXT TakeOver Philadelphia results show, and then Sunday the Royal Rumble. Until then, my name is TheFrance. You guys have yourself a good evening, afternoon, or night, or morning.